He installed a camera on his wife's grave. The footage discovery shocked the world. Mike, a man from a small town with a broken heart, was about to make a decision that would change his life forever. It had been only 6 months since his beloved wife had passed away, and since then, something inexplicable had been happening around her grave. Every day, fresh flowers appeared in front of the tombstone. Mysteriously, the flowers never wilted and remained fresh day after day. Footprints were also found near the grave, even though no one seemed to know where they came from. Sometimes, when Mike visited the grave, the air carried the scent of his wife's favorite perfume, a fragrance that brought waves of emotion and longing. Mike couldn't stop thinking that something was wrong. Desperate for answers, he decided to install a hidden camera near his wife Lily's grave to uncover the truth. He carefully hid it behind a nearby tombstone, ensuring it had a clear view of her resting place. The first night passed without incident. The second night was the same. But on the third night, the camera captured something unimaginable. When Mike finally watched the footage, he broke down in tears. The recordings revealed something that would shock the world. Mike sat in his dimly lit living room, his heart pounding as he pressed play on the footage. He had spent months mourning his wife Lily's passing, struggling to move on, but something unexplainable kept drawing him back to her grave. Fresh flowers appeared at her tombstone every day, flowers that never seemed to wilt. He had assumed at first that a kind stranger or a close friend was leaving them, but there was something strange about them. The flowers remained vibrant, untouched by time, no matter the weather. Then, there were the footprints. He had spotted them in the dirt surrounding the grave, leading to and from the tombstone. But no one ever admitted to being there, and the cemetery caretaker swore that he hadn't seen anything unusual. And then there was the scent, Lily's favorite perfume. Every time Mike visited, the fragrance lingered in the air, as if she had just walked past moments before. It was too much to ignore. Determined to uncover the truth, Mike set up a hidden camera, positioning it carefully behind a nearby tombstone. It had a clear view of Lily's grave, ready to capture anything or anyone responsible for these mysterious events. For 2 nights, the footage showed nothing unusual. The cemetery remained still and undisturbed. But on the third night, the camera captured something that would change everything. The footage showed a figure appearing just after midnight. At first, it was difficult to make out any details, but as the person stepped closer, Mike felt his breath catch in his throat. It was an elderly man, moving slowly, carefully. He carried a bouquet of fresh lilies, Lily's favorite flowers. Mike leaned in closer to the screen, trying to recognize the man, and then suddenly, he did. It was Lily's father, a man who had been diagnosed with advanced Alzheimer's. Mike hadn't seen him in a long time. After Lily's passing, her father's condition had worsened, and he had been moved into an assisted living facility. He could barely remember faces or conversations, yet here he was, making his way to his daughter's grave in the dead of night. Mike watched as the elderly man gently placed the flowers at the tombstone and sat beside it. He remained there for over an hour, whispering softly, his frail hands resting against the stone. Though the audio was faint, Mike could make out a few words. "I miss you, sweetheart. I'm sorry I wasn't there more. I hope you're happy where you are." Tears welled in Mike's eyes. His father-in-law, who could barely recall his own name some days, hadn't forgotten Lily. Some part of him still remembered her, still felt the pull of their bond, strong enough to guide him here, night after night. But then, something even more heartbreaking happened. The camera footage showed the man slowly getting up to leave, but as he turned, he seemed lost. He looked around in confusion, as if he no longer recognized where he was. Mike's heart sank. He realized that his father-in-law had likely been wandering to the cemetery alone, without anyone knowing. In his confusion, he had managed to find his way here, over and over again, driven by a memory buried deep within him. Mike didn't waste a second. He immediately drove to his father-in-law's care facility and asked the staff if they knew he had been leaving at night. To his shock, they had no idea. His father-in-law had been slipping out unnoticed, walking miles in the middle of the night to visit Lily's grave. No one knew how long he had been doing this. The staff, equally stunned, promised to ensure better care and prevent him from leaving unsupervised. Mike, overwhelmed with emotion, vowed to visit him more often, to be there for him in ways he hadn't before. The footage, once meant to uncover a mystery, had instead revealed an act of pure love. It was a heartbreaking yet beautiful truth. A father, lost in the fog of Alzheimer's, had somehow never forgotten his daughter. Mike decided to keep the camera running, not for evidence, but so he could always remember this moment, this proof that love endures, even when memory fades. When the story was shared online, it touched hearts worldwide. People from around the world commented, sharing their own experiences with lost loved ones and the incredible ways their memories lived on. Sometimes, the mysteries that haunt us don't lead to fear or tragedy. Sometimes, they reveal just how deep love can go. If this story touched your heart, let us know in the comments. Have you ever experienced something that showed you the power of love and memory? Like, share, and subscribe for more real-life stories that remind us of the beauty in the world, even in the most unexpected places.